Class of 2013, parents, friends, fellow staff, please join me in welcoming your valedictorian, Mr. Damien Ewing.
I have never actually been so nervous to give a speech.
No pressure. Only pressure. Dancing.
You can do anything. You can do anything. If you can somehow survive 4 years of combo A's from double happiness and still live long enough to see graduation, then nothing can stop you. Just reflect, briefly, on how much you have all gained these last 4 years. From entering this place as an immature little kid to going through 4 years of transformative experiences to the present and to who you are now. A bigger version of that same immature kid, now with the freedom to make your own decisions. Now, even if high school didn't exactly transform you the way you had hoped, just remember P90X didn't transform Mr. Braun the way he hoped either. So don't feel cheated, no. Our time at Acton was the best anyone will ever have. The world around us is changing faster than it ever has before. Progress no longer comes in baby steps, it comes in leaps and bounds. Before we know it, the toonie will be the only coin left, and teachers will be replaced by robots called Android Smith. Yeah. And while Acton's spectacular teachers gave us the stellar education we were looking for, the real reason we're all here is because of each other. Because let's be real, I could have learned all the same stuff in half the time on YouTube. It's not the curriculum that's important, it's the people around us and our peers. So I have to thank you, fellow students. Thank you for all your quirks, your mishaps, your weirdness and shenanigans. Thank you because if nothing else, you all kept it really interesting. But high school is not easy, no. And for all of your hard work, congratulations are in order. Congratulations for completing high school. Graduation is a tough road, and no doubt the odds were stacked against you, except for teachers who put in their own time to give you extra help, guidance counselors who seemed to always look after you, and peers who always had your back. The credit recovery program, the credit restoration program, and the I screwed up, can I please have a credit program? It's tough. So tough that a mere 90% of people graduate high school. So whenever you're feeling down, just know in your heart that if you were in a group of 10 people, at this point in your lives, in terms of education, at least you're not last. But don't think for 1 second that school has much to do with success. Schooling alone has never made anyone successful. It doesn't even really prepare you for being successful. Because contrary to what schools seem to teach, no one has ever become great by sitting quietly, following instructions, and completing requirements. If you graduated with a 102 average and extracurriculars to the moon and back, you aren't a half a step ahead of anyone else. And the people who graduated by the skin of their teeth are not a half step behind. Right now, we're all in the same boat. You are all just one of hundreds of thousands of high school students that graduate every single year. Now you might be thinking, wait, are you saying that I am not special? Because my mother said that I was super, super special, and yes, that is exactly what I'm saying, and yes, your mother lied. And that's okay. It's okay, that happens. Nobody else is special either, because if everyone was special, then obviously being special is nothing special at all. I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty easy to blend into the crowd of 7 billion. That is surely full of better looking, smarter, richer, nicer, cooler, happier, and generally better people than you are. So why bother? I mean, 7 billion to 1 are your odds. Just the people living in first world countries is 1.2 billion. Maybe half of them dream big, bigger than you do. And of those, maybe 1 in 100 actually fully follow through and risk it. Still 6 million. How many are in your age group? Maybe a tenth? 600,000 to 1. Would you risk your life's work on 600,000 to 1 odds? I didn't think so, but the catch is that there's not just one successful person in the world, is there? In fact, estimates roughly show 604,000 famous people, not to mention the wildly rich, powerful, or successful. So you have a 1-to-1 chance, a near guarantee of success, if you simply go for it. Now, before you start saying, I made these numbers up, I'll have you know that these numbers in our biology curriculum come from the very same source, LeBlanc's ass. So no matter what the real odds are that you'll be wildly successful in life, they get significantly worse if you don't try. If you have a plan, a goal, an aspiration, or something you want to create and you just accept that it won't happen and give up the first time someone tells you it's unrealistic or foolish, which will happen no matter how good your idea is, then your odds become infinitesimally small. To put that in perspective, it's about the same odds Mr. Smith will ever feel genuine emotion. So very simply, you have to be able to say no and mean it. When I was 8 years old, this was the very first lesson I learned in martial arts, and I remember so vividly being told that no was the most powerful word in the world. I'm always surprised at how close that lesson has stuck with me, even to this day. Because no gets a pretty bad rap. No usually stops things from happening, destroys plans, decimates ideas, and halts human progress all in a single syllable. However, in a world where you are convinced you only have 4 pathways to take once you leave here, and that what you do and create in your lifetime has to be chosen from a drop-down menu in careers class, saying no does something a little different. By saying no to someone who'd shoot down your ideas and who would say you should be taking the typical safe, secure, realistic path, and instead going ahead with your own thoughts anyway, you have taken the first step that most people do not. By saying no to everyone else, you necessarily say yes to what you believe and what you want to do. You cast aside what everyone else wants, and you do your own thing. And when you do your own thing, people will lose their minds and object ferociously. Because when you tell people about your hopes and aspirations that you will spend the rest of your life reaching for, the best reaction you could possibly receive is, or, as Howard Acton so bluntly put it, if your ideas are any good, you'll have to ram them down people's throats. And by graduating from Acton, which is much more a community than a school, you are all perfectly set up to do whatever you want. Because jokes aside, we all worked hard to get where we are today, both in school owing to your successful graduation, but more importantly outside of school, in our homes, families, and communities. While we started from very different places, we are now in the same boat, graduates of Acton, and that really is something to be proud of. So as we head into the conclusion, I remembered a rather unfortunate fact. No one ever remembers the valedictorian speech. I know I don't remember a thing about my grade 8 class's speech, and I delivered it. So if you remember nothing about the speech in 10 minutes from now, or you were sleeping, then just try to remember this. It doesn't matter that you are 1 in 7 billion people. It doesn't matter if every single one of them is nicer, smarter, more attractive, cooler, happier, and better than you. You could be the most ugly, scrawny, uncool, pathetic human being that ever walked this earth, and none of that really matters. What matters for you as the unique graduating class of Acton High School is that you realize you can actually do what you want, and that no lifelong pursuit should come from a drop-down menu. What matters is from going from how everyone else wants you to live to how you want to live. And most importantly, what matters is that when someone tells you you can't, you won't, or you shouldn't do what you love, that you look them straight in the eyes and say no. Congratulations, and best of luck to all of you. Thank you.
Valedictorian Medal. Damien, come back. Thanks.
Great speech. Give goosebumps. Good job, David.